Girl in Himachal Pradesh to getting to this point. From growing up in a family where you have quite openly admitted that your family was more favorably disposed towards your brother, and in some ways openly discriminated against you, to the point that one day you decided you were going to run away from home.
I think this kind of discrimination exists even today, and I won't say there was anything unusual about my childhood, but I appreciate the fact that today we talk so much about women empowerment, and I don't know how much of difference it's making, but I think somewhere children who are growing up and women who are going to be now Gen Next and in their schools and their teens, they at least to understand there's something wrong in being discriminated, as opposed to us who growing up didn't see it as something which was wrong. Like I thought it's a matter of fact that being a girl child is a liability on our parent, and
you felt like a liability?
Yes, and because there was no other perspective that we had growing up. I felt that it's fair for my parents to feel that taking care of a girl child, like because these conversations were everyday thing, that you raise a child and you invest so much in her education, and then she goes about to basically take care of someone else's house, and there's so much dowry that you have to. So it's basically not a very good scenario for them, and as opposed to a son who just brings another person to work at their houses, or and brings a lot of money along with other gifts for the families. This is how actually middle class families feel, who struggle to make the ends meet. For them, those gifts.
The girl is a liability.
Yeah.
Did you feel like a liability growing up?
No, I felt, well, for me, like I felt what they feel is there's nothing wrong in what they feel, but I didn't feel that I am any less than my brother, or, and I'm just someone who they have to take care of. I felt quite independent, but that's very rare.
But your parents also want you to get you married off at 16.
Not really. I had pressure of studying and things like that. But my parents, I come from a joint family, and they had their own pressures on them. But yeah, they definitely didn't think of me doing something other than getting married and taking care of my household.
What made you finally take the decision to almost run away from home, come here to this city where you had no sugar daddy, you knew nobody?
Yeah.
People made fun
Myself as someone who's any less than my brother or anyone else, and that's something that drives you to just find yourself and your worth. I didn't have any clarity that I want to be an actress, or I want to change the world or do this, but that frustration that I can't be what you think I am, I can't be such a useless person who's just good for nothing and just do post-graduation, then they'll find a guy for me, and then I go about making babies. So I did have a lot of doubts about that system, but I had so many doubts about my own choices in life.
How difficult was it for you when you came here?
Very difficult. I mean, it's quite harsh, and I don't have to go into the details of it, but
you went days without food, you slept on the pavement?
Yeah, and then I fell for a trap. Like I was physically abused, and
By whom?
Like I don't want to take names, and
by people in the industry.
Yes, people, when they see needy people, and it's just not that you do fall for those traps, and you do feel that people sometimes might help you without but there are no free lunches, right? So when you're naive, you're young, you kind of you do, fall for those very conventional, you know, discover yourself. Where I feel there are as many people, as many stories, as many women, and we need to encourage women, our women, for being who they are, as opposed to trying to box them and fit them. This one is attractive, this one is, Behenji type, this one is intellectual, and this one is a baddie, badass who has boyfriends and wear clothes like this. So we need to stop boxing our women.
Yeah, go beyond the stereotypes and
Yes.
the cliches. You were one of the first people, at least I think you were the first person I ever heard in the industry who asked why women are not paid as much as men. And I've heard the counter argument that women don't bring as many audiences, they don't, do as well for the distributors. How sexist, how this say we need to be paid more? Did you answer that story?
Oh yeah, I think we are made to feel extremely, because I don't know, this is the mentality where in India we have that overtly ambitious women is just kind of looked down upon, which is also very, very, I don't think that's the case though. They will make you feel that way, that if you're being overtly ambitious, you are definitely not, no one's going to admire you and you're not a nice person. But then, in my experience, more successful I get, I see a lot more proposals from men. Why is that then? Isn't it? I've been around for like some 10 years, and more successful I get, more crazy they get. Why is that? And these are the same guys, who will tell me that, the date shani kisi ko achhi nahi lagti. And these are the same guys now, head over heels. So why is that? I want to know that.
Yeah, there's no Meryl Streep in here.
Yeah.
Is that frustrating? Do you work in this industry knowing that the men are going to be forever young while the women are put on the shelf and, well, most women seem to have 5-6 years if they're lucky. How does that make you feel?
Again, I think it's just the way, it's a kind of manipulation. They manipulate us to feel that way, to believe that way. But it's not true. If that was true, who remember the last glamorous hot bod face? Everyone remembers Dutt, like the woman that I played with Barkha.
Yeah.
Everyone remembers Queen. Our society loves raw character. We love raw women. We don't love our mother because she's hot and sexy. We love our mother because she's our mother. And we love our granny because she's our granny. We value her. We don't remember anyone's face from our childhood. We love our granny's face, So our society loves. If that wasn't the case, why would Dutt be such an iconic character? My Krish character is not iconic. The one where I played really hot as mutant.
But yet the men last longer than the women in the role of hero.
Because they make us believe that. They don't want us to be, they want us to be a certain way. They make us lose our identity. It's a trap. It's a trap. We need to be aware of this trap. They will make you lose your identity and then you won't like yourself, they won't like you either. So when a man says that, oh, you're not 16 or you're not 15, there you have your first wrinkle. Don't hate yourself for that. Love yourself, he'll follow you. So we need to love ourselves first. We are desperate to look all the time a certain way. But in my experience, I can only speak for myself. All my hot characters or whatever, by the grace of God, I never got any attention. But the day I played real women, and that we can't give credit to the industry. We have to give that credit to our audiences, our population. They love real characters, they love raw women, and I don't care. Why would anyone care if Queen is actually 27 or 37? Hardly makes a difference.
Yeah.
What difference does it make? If it doesn't make a difference to film industry, they wouldn't want you to feel that way. They get extremely threatened, So we don't have to fall for that. Try to be aware of your gifts.
One of the things I really applaud you for is that you had a 2 crore rupee offer to do a fairness cream ad. And you not just turned it down, you said you're embarrassed and ashamed of every colleague of yours in the industry. And this includes both men and women and some of the biggest stars who do market fairness products. What made you say?
Like I said, I really thank my ex, a white guy who I was dating, because growing up, I didn't come through conversations like this, and I thank you and people like you who, I don't know how much change people like you can bring about, but at least you're talking about it. The one who is willing to have that awareness, or maybe fortunate enough to have that awareness would actually get it from, So growing up, I didn't see anything wrong with fairness cream. In fact, I thought it was actually cool to be fair or not to be fair.
Did you use them?
I think I was quite pale growing up. I didn't need it, but like I said, I didn't see anything wrong with fairness cream. But when I was dating this white guy, he teased me like, "Oh, you guys are so funny. You openly sell fairness cream. It's not acceptable, And I'm like, why is that? It's like, because it's not acceptable that you're trying to tell your race that you shouldn't be this way and should and that's the time actually I realized that what we are doing, how we are sort of giving our generation complexes and not letting them be confident and not letting them find beauty in their own race, And it's just this whole new world opened up to me, and I'm like, what are we doing as people? The whole world is laughing at us, And he used to tease me that, so you must be thinking that I am fair and lovely because I'm white. And I hated that. And I think in a relationship also, you wouldn't want to have the other person have that kind of upper hand because you as population behaving so stupid, So
What do you think of your colleagues